Good morning, Cougar fans, and welcome to today's All-American interview on the campus of the University of St. Francis. I'm Sports Information Director Charlie Mager, and joining me today are 4 track and field runners who, during the indoor season over the winter, earned NAIA All-American honors. Spencer Carpenter, Leah Hall, Alex Ebetino, and Joe Painter. During the course of the indoor season, Spencer became the first male distance runner in program history to achieve All-American honors after placing first in the 1,000 meter run at the Crossroads League Championship. Joe overcame an early season injury and placed third in the pole vault at the NAIA Championships. And Leah, shortly after winning the mile at an earlier meet, finished 7th in the 3K at the NAIA Championships with her time of 10 minutes and 6 seconds, being the highest all-time in program history. Meanwhile, Alex placed 4th in the 3K at the NAIA, while also winning the conference championship, and this marks her 5th All-American honor between cross country and track and field. So without further ado, good morning, guys. How are you guys all doing today?
I'm good.
How are you?
So I want to go around real quick. Alex, we'll start with you. Just tell me a little bit about your roots of what got you into running and like how how smooth the transition was from high school to the collegiate level.
So I started running track at St. John, New Haven, in New Haven. But I don't know what got me into track, but I know what got me into cross country was my mom just dropped me off at practice one day and said, "Here you go, you're in cross country now." So then I kept doing it in high school because I ended up really liking it, and then kept going to college. But yeah, the transition was fairly smooth.
How about you, Leah?
Okay, so my best friend in grade school, I went to St. John, Fort Wayne,
Mm-hmm.
and she was like, "Oh my gosh, you should try this track team with me." Like we just started the track team at St. John's, and so she was like, I was like, "Okay, I'll go to practice with you," and so that started my career in the track program. And then she was like, "Oh, you should do cross country with me in the fall," and I'm like, "Okay," grade school cross country and track, nothing special, but it was a fun time, and I had a good time with my friends, and then that led me into high school. And I was nothing special, but I did swim as well. And so I found myself in those kind of individual sports, and that's kind of where I felt comfortable. So yeah, I continued cross and track through high school, and then leading into college, it was pretty smooth, and it's been a good time.
Good. Spencer, how about you?
Mine started different. I would have never ran in my life. I played other sports, soccer. Soccer was my main one, and then one day my neighbor, he was a junior high coach and high school, and his son got me into it, said come practice one day. So I started in 6th grade, and then pretty much the next 2 years I was betted to run, like money from my parents to run, and then it led on through high school. Figured out I was decently good at it. I liked it. Track's more my favorite, and then pretty much from there on it just got me here, kind of.
And then Joe, how about you? But you're in more of the field categories instead of the running,
Yeah.
so to speak.
So I'm with Spencer. I never thought about running track ever until like my 8th grade year. I stopped playing baseball, and I was like, I wanted to do something in the springtime. So I tried track out, and I hurdled and did a little pole vault, and I didn't really know what I was doing, but I just grew to love it. And then the transition from high school to college was very smooth.
Awesome. So, Joe, having said that, tell me a little bit about, over the 2 years you've been here, how your coaches have and mentors have instilled confidence in you.
I think it started off with my dad. My dad just you gotta put goals out there to start, and I talked to Coach Allison about my goals before the season even starts. And then if you know your goals, you can just try to hit them and stuff like that, and it builds confidence when you meet your goals and stuff like that.
Yep.
So that's the best answer I can give you.
And speaking of goals, Spencer, one question I wanted to ask you is once you decided on USF last year, what was 1 or 2 major goals that you wanted to achieve during your tenure here? Did you have any?
Yeah, my first goal was pretty much to come here and kind of help Corey reestablish our guys side, and because we always got looked down, nobody cared really. So I came here and pretty much just wanted to change that, maybe make some more stand out more records and beat those records so I can show other people that it is possible. And then the second goal that him and I and Kyle all talked about, it's still in the development, but our main goal still before I graduate is to hopefully get us a track. That's the big goal for us.
Nice. Little side note, Spencer. When your parents bet on you, who won that bet?
Well, it wasn't really like a bet. It was like more like, hey, you run another year, I'll give you $100 to run.
Okay.
And then it kept adding up. So my dad, throughout the whole high school year, it was pretty much like close to $500.
So they knew how to motivate
Oh
you.
my
Yeah,
God.
and I never got that money. So
Must be never
Nice.
got it.
How about that? Leah, how about you? I wanted to ask you if there are one or two big takeaways, I think, from being a college athlete, whether you learned it on your own, from one of your coaches, one of your teammates, whether it's in the classroom or out there on the track. What would you give to somebody who might be looking to be a college athlete at some point?
Yeah, I think two major takeaways. One, like kind of learning from my coaches and people around me, is that you're always capable of more than you think, and those goals that you have like aren't so far, and you can do that by. The second takeaway, I think, is something I've learned on my own, which is like really stressing the little things, like eating right, doing whatever it takes to get that 7 and 8 hours of sleep every night, and like making sure that you're staying on top of it, because that's for me what's shown the most progress in the last year, is stressing the little things.
In terms, Leah and Alex, I know you guys are both from around the area. You went to Dwenger and you went to Lours, and you guys graduated the same year. Did you guys ever compete against each other, or did you guys know each other at all during?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Let me tell you. I first saw Alex in 5th grade.
Uh-huh.
We were at a sleepover.
It was for a mutual friend, so we didn't know each other.
Right.
But this girl, I was like with the other girls, and for some reason she was outside howling at the moon like a wolf. And she's out there just like I'm like wolf girl. Like this girl is a wolf girl. So I'm like, okay, she's weird. And then I ended up seeing her in high school, and we raced against each other.
Yeah,
But there weren't any like specific races. I don't think.
that image of me just never left her mind. So that's how she pictured me through high school. And when college started to come around, Corey was like, "Oh, you guys are gonna be teammates," and so she still thought I was that weird wolf girl character, which I'm not. Just kidding.
So would you guys have thought that maybe years from now you guys would be sitting here doing an interview together after that
No.
instance?
No, I didn't think
No.
she would be my best friend ever. No chance.
It's just kind of funny how that stuff works sometimes in life, though.
Mm-hmm.
Going back to conditioning and preparation, Alex, this is one that I want to ask you. Talk about kind of the off season, or how the summers look for you getting ready for cross country and track.
So after outdoor season ends, we take a little bit of a break, maybe 2 weeks, maybe 1 week, I'm not sure. But you can not run, or you can just do really low mileage just to let your body heal and kind of get back into the swing of things. Then we slowly start building up mileage and adding in workouts, really easy ones that you can do on your own over the summer. And then when season starts up again in August, more intense workouts get thrown into the program.
Joe, what are your workouts like? Like if you're working with the pole vault, like what do your workouts consist of compared to those that are doing like the long distance or
It's
sprints?
nothing like theirs. It's nothing. It's very like short sprints, and just I vault 3 times a week right now. So
Okay.
I do mainly I'm mainly in the weight room.
Mhm.
I hit weights a lot, and I do short sprints, and I pole vault. So
Okay.
I hear him running like 12 miles, and it makes me want to throw up. I'm like, that sounds terrible. I couldn't do that, but
I did cross country in middle school, and 2 miles a day made me want to throw up in itself. I
I
hear
agree.
that. I hear that. So with and I want to go through the table or go around with you guys as well. Joe, we'll start with you this time. What's the best? Like, what are some good things about being an athlete, and that just and that also includes the friends you seem to immediately make on the first day.
Okay, I'm trying to answer that question here. So the best part of being an athlete here, I feel like in going on these trips is I really know these guys that well until I go on trips and I get to meet them. Like I didn't really know Alex or Leah until last year went to nationals, and then I got to know him really well. Didn't know Spencer at all until I went to nationals with him. Goofy guy. But I think just like new experiences and traveling and seeing stuff is super cool, and it's also nice being close to home because you still see a lot of family and stuff, which is nice.
So, Leah, I'll ask you this one. Do you guys like how often do you guys like work with each other like during the season, or how often do you guys see each other at practice? Because I would imagine that if you guys are there at 3 o'clock, some people may have classes on some days and another day. Is it just if you don't have a class, you're there, and if you do, you just got to make it up? How does that
Yeah,
work?
it's really hard, especially this semester. It seems more broken up than usual, but there are a lot of classes, especially Alex and I are art majors, and we have 2-hour, 45-minute classes, like that's consistent for us. And the time frame is always 1 o'clock to 3:45, and our practices are at 3 o'clock every day. So I'm always late. Like Alex is coming in early to get it done before class. Like so, there's a lot of break. Like I can't come to practice at all this semester. I'm late. Like except for 6 a.m.s. Like today, I can come. But so there's a lot of breakup, and it's hard to be apart from your team like that. But in ways, we do find ways to connect. Like we'll meet up on Sunday mornings for long runs, which has helped recently. So we get to see the team more. But it is kind of broken up with class schedules, which kind of sucks. But in the long run, it's all right because we get to see each other at meets and stuff. So
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Yeah, because I see you guys out there running, and it's usually the same people, but they're always with different groups, though. So it just seems that whoever
Yeah.
is whoever walks into a Hutzel with you guys that doesn't have class, you're running with them.
yeah, like
Yeah.
sometimes we'll meet up if we both can't make it to practice and we can run in the morning or something. So
Nice.
hmm
So, Spencer, I'll start with you with this one. When you first got NAIA All-American honors about a month ago, how did you initially react? Like, what did that honor mean to you?
Don't want to be rude, but I mean, it just felt like another race. I mean, the prelims is what got me the most. Like, I mean, 30 minutes before my heat, I was dry heaving, puking 30 minutes before in trash can, spitting like crazy. I was nervous because I was more scared of the prelims than the actual final. So once I got to the final, all that just kind of went behind my head, and I just went out there and run like I do. And getting that All-American status kind of hasn't set in really. I mean, I'm still just running. That's pretty much how I think of it. I just keep running and just do my thing.
I was going to follow up with that. Alex, this goes for you too. So, like, when this isn't the first time this has happened for you, when it does happen and you get this honor, does that increase your intensity to continue to even better yourself?
Yeah, especially since recently there have been more people who are getting up to that level, like new schools coming in, schools that were out because of COVID, they're coming back in and they're all really good. So I want to be able to hold that All-American position, so I have to continue to work even harder to be able to stay up there.
Do you feel that same way, Leah?
Well, for me, since it's my first time getting All-American, I kind of went into this championship really not thinking it was going to happen. And I mean, I knew there was a chance. But it was kind of just let's hope for the best. Whatever happens, happens. I've got here, let's do this thing. But I ended up PRing in the prelim and then PRing again to get 7th in the final, which if I wouldn't have, I would not have been All-American. So it was kind of a really big shock for me. But in the end, I think the whole success has been the journey getting there and everything like that. So. Mm-hmm.
How about you, Joe? Was it a shock for you when you found out?
Yeah, it was a shock. Oh man, yeah, it was a shock. I was kind of I was going into I think I was gonna get 6th or 7th, but then I got 3rd and made me tear up a little bit. I'm not gonna. These guys all left. I was tearing up a little. I was like, oh my gosh, this is a big deal. I was like, that just happened. But yeah, it was crazy. I'm just blessed.
Sometimes, yeah, like the first few days or so, it won't even hit you.
Yeah.
And then when it's all said and done, that's when it all really kind of comes to fruition. Would you guys say that earning All-American honors, especially over the last 5 years or so, has that been the proudest achievement that you guys have earned at this point?
I would say yeah,
Right
for
up
me,
there.
yeah. For
Yeah.
Alex, she
Yeah.
has 5, so
Right.
she's kind of a stud. But for me, yeah.
Yeah. And one last question I did have for you guys before we wrap up here. Do you guys have any, Alex, I'll start with you. Do you have any plans or intentions after graduating, especially with just one more year?
So I actually have 2 years left because I'm taking a 5th year
Okay.
to continue with my eligibility because of the COVID year.
Right.
So after that, I'd like to keep training, if not with Corey, then with a semi-professional group, hopefully, because I want to try to make it to the Olympic trials. It's a long shot, and it'll take me years to get there probably, but it's a goal.
How about, Leah, how about you?
So yeah, this is my last year next year, but I was considering a 5th year. I still am if I would add a graduate program in. I'm a graphic design major, and so there could be like a marketing or business one that I could add on. And then with that, if I did so, I would be able to take a 5th year of running as well, which would be really exciting. I could stay with Alex, and that'd be fun. But if not, then I'll probably get a graphic design job here in town or like a remote one or travel. But with that, I would love to continue running or doing triathlons, which would be really fun because I love swimming too. But yeah, I would love to do semi-professional running as well.
Spencer, you got any?
Uh,
You still have a few more years.
yeah,
but
I have 3 more years. I've told Corey, and it's just how me and my friends are, my brother. Like after my 4 years, I'm done. I'm done running. I love it, but it gets tiring and boring because it takes up so much time of your day throughout the summer. Like I'd rather be doing other more fun things than run. But within the 4 years, I know like the trials are coming up in the next couple years. I mean, it would be a huge goal of mine to hit a standard and then go to Olympics or like the trials. But we'll see where it goes. Even if I don't hit it within the next Summer Olympics, then maybe try it again for the next Summer Olympics. But if not, then I'm done running. I'm not running anymore.
Well, those are Alex and Spencer. Those are a couple phenomenal goals that I wish you guys nothing but the absolute best with. Keep at it. And then Joe, how about you? You got any plans for when you finish up here?
So the plans is, so I'm gonna start applying for graduate schools here soon. My goal is to be a dentist. So after that, I go to dental school and then hopefully be a dentist. I don't know if I'll keep pole vaulting or not. It just depends at the time. So
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I want to say to the 4 of you guys, thank you guys very much for your time here today. Best of luck to you guys for the remainder of the spring season and all the way into the 22-23 academic year.
Thank you.
thank you.
We're going to go ahead and wrap up there. That was Alex Ebetino, Leah Hall, Spencer Carpenter, and Joe Painter, all NAIA All-Americans with USF indoor track and field, and cross country. Until next time, I'm Sports Information Director Charlie Mager. Thank you for joining us here on the campus of the University of St. Francis. And until next time, talk to you later.